All right, guys, this is the New York City tour. I'm going to do it with the drone first, and then if you want to watch, you can watch an F-35 fly by the city back and forth, but you're going to need the drone possibly to give you some ideas for your assignment. So your assignment is going to be based on a few key areas. You're going to have to pick two that you're going to do a little research project on so that you can possibly share with other people once I get back, because we're going to have like a lot of free time. So anyway, if you're looking at the screen now, you can see right there the Statue of Liberty. You can see Manhattan in the distance. So if you're not really familiar with New York, this is coming into the area through New York Harbor. And again, Statue of Liberty is one of the first things that many people see. Over behind the Statue of Liberty is Ellis Island. You'll see that in a second. But again, well, there's Ellis Island. So if you choose Ellis Island, there's a lot of cool information and some sad information. It's not as positive as you think, but this is where most immigrants came in up until the early 1900s, and then it has some sad history after that, and so on. Over there, where you're looking at, that's Governor's Island. That goes all the way back to when the British were in control. So that's kind of interesting. You might choose that. If you look in the center of the screen now, that is a fortress, kind of like Fort Monroe. So a lot of this stuff goes back to the Revolutionary War era, including the next part that you're coming to. So that's the main part of Manhattan. And you can see all the tall buildings, of course, but that green area right there, that's called the Battery or Battery Park. So if you choose that, you can look it up and get a little background information. I'll have the instructions on Google Classroom, but again, you're going to use this video, so whatever interests you. Now, the remains of the World Trade Center, the two footprints of the two Twin Towers, is right about there. So you can see down in the bottom the two squares. Now they're memorials, which are like water fountain type of things. I've never seen the memorials myself, but anyway. So let's see, that area you're looking at in general is called downtown Manhattan. You can see the Brooklyn Bridge cutting across right there. All right, so now in the distance, you can see more big buildings, in particular the Empire State Building, and that is called Midtown Manhattan. So as we get closer, there'll be a lot of places you've heard of, possibly, etc. Some of them you could pick. So obviously coming up here is the Flatiron Building. You can see that on the screen. That's kind of interesting. Maybe not totally, but it could be something that you pick. Now, obviously, the Empire State Building is most famous because a giant gorilla attacked the city at one point and climbed up the Empire State Building. True story, you know. So there's Madison Square Garden right there. That's where the hockey team, basketball team, etc. plays. Knicks and Rangers. Sorry, sometimes the screen gets out of whack. So in front of the Madison Square Garden, you're going to see over there towards the left, that is the New Yorker Hotel. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to point it out because as technically advanced as I am, I'm trying to be in a hurry here. But one of those hotels, that's where we talked about Nikola Tesla in class, where he lived out his last days, and it was one of the most advanced hotels of the time, and nobody knows who was paying the rent for him. So one of those kind of fun conspiracy theories. So anyway, more of Midtown, and you can see in the distance, you can see Central Park. Now, one of the crazy things about Central Park, and this doesn't go totally with the Gilded Age, but it leads to it because, again, the whole point of the Gilded Age is the invention of affordable steel leads to all these big skyscrapers being built. But there's a place called Seneca Village, which was an African American and an Irish community back in the early 1800s up until 1856. Now, the crazy thing is, oh, and I'm sorry, you're looking at Billionaires Row right there. Billionaires Row is some of the most expensive buildings facing Central Park. But anyway, Seneca Village in Central Park, that is where African American and Irish immigrants were basically ripped from their land. It was taken from them, and that is some of the most expensive land in New York, and they were not compensated for it. So I'm not going to go into all the details because that might be one of the locations you choose, but it's very sad. All right, you're looking to the left, that's the Hudson River. We talked about that leading to the Erie Canal. And that's a way to connect the Atlantic all the way to the Great Lakes. In the center of the screen there, coming closer, that is Yankee Stadium. If you like baseball, that's where the Yankees play. If you don't like baseball, oh well. You can see the little imprint right beside it. That was the old Yankee Stadium. That's where Babe Ruth played. Today it's like a little kind of memorial for the old park. Okay, this one's really interesting. Some of you might like this a lot. The small island that's coming first, that is called North Brother Island, and I'll leave that for you to discover because that one's really, really dark. There's some old abandoned buildings there, so that might be something that a lot of you are interested in if you like kind of creepy things. And as you can see, I kind of zoom around so you can see some of those leftover buildings. You're not allowed to go there today because of its history, so maybe you'll pick that one. All right, right behind North Brother Island, that's Rikers Island. That is most famous for being a giant prison for New York City. So that's another one. Oh, you can see the shadow of the airplane, the fake airplane that is, flying over. But anyway, that is Rikers Island. You can see the prison buildings. Those are called panopticons, where you can be in one central area and see down all of the different locations, so if there's any type of trouble. Next, we'll be coming up on Citibank Park, where the Mets play. I think where the Brooklyn Nets play. I passed it a while back. It's coming up in the distance, but I didn't make a point to go past that. Sorry if there's any Nets fans out there. Okay, there's Citibank Park right there. I'm more of a baseball fan, sorry. But the weird thing is none of the parks are directly in Manhattan because the land is so expensive. All right, so read the directions for the assignment. Pick the 2 places that you want to do a little bit more research on, so you'll have that, make it interesting, but follow the directions closely, please. And last, if you want to see a F-35 flyby Manhattan back and forth, you can hang in there and watch that. It only takes a couple minutes because the jet's pretty fast. But anyway, thank you. Like and subscribe. You'll get nothing